In this session, I'll show you how to crop and clean our set of droplet GIFs. You don't have to follow along if you don't want to. You can simply download the finished version from the materials. But if you're determined to see it through, I'll be using Adobe Photoshop version 26.3. So, let me start by explaining. I uploaded the GIF into Photoshop, and now we're ready to clean it up. The first thing to do is head to the Window tab and select Timeline. This will open up the animation timeline at the bottom of the screen, where we can see each frame of the GIF. A GIF is essentially made up of layers, with each frame stacked on top of the previous one and played sequentially to create movement. You can click on each frame individually in the timeline to preview that specific frame. The next task at hand is to crop the GIF to the correct size. You can simply press C on your keyboard to activate the crop tool. Then, drag the corners in and press Enter to apply the crop. Now, each frame of the GIF is correctly sized. To check if everything looks good, go to the bottom left corner of the timeline panel and click the play button. If you head to the Window tab again and select Layers, or simply press F7, you'll see all the individual layers in the bottom right corner. Each frame of the GIF corresponds to a layer, and you can hide or unhide them using the eye icon next to each layer. Now, we need to remove the brown background and make it transparent. Since the background exists on each layer, we have to delete it individually for every frame. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a way to apply this step to all layers at once, but there's a workaround using recorded actions. We can record an action and then apply it to each frame automatically. Let me show you how. Head to the Window tab and select Actions, or press Alt plus F9 to open the Actions panel. In the Actions panel, click the small plus sign at the bottom to start recording a new action. Name it something like Remove Background, then hit Record. While recording, press W to activate the Magic Wand tool. Hover over the brown background and click to select it. Then, hit Delete to remove it. Once the background is removed, click the Stop Recording button, the small square, in the Actions panel. Now, we need to apply this step to each of the 84 layers. Yikes! But don't worry, since we recorded the action, we don't have to do it manually for each one. Simply select the first layer, go to the Actions panel, and click Play on the Remove Background action we just recorded. Then repeat this for each layer. You need to make sure that both the layer and the eye icon are selected before applying the action. Also, be sure to only select one frame at a time. Otherwise, you might run into a bug. Okay. While we watch me go through each of these layers one by one, I want to take a moment to confess something. I'm not an expert in Photoshop. In fact, I had to learn how to do this specifically for this course. My expertise is mainly in coding and AI. I only went down this path because I had a vision in PowerPoint. I wanted the GIF to look clean for the menu we'll create at the end. But after generating the droplet GIF in PowerPoint, I realized I couldn't use it because of the background issue. So, I had two choices. Find a way to fix it, or change the design completely. I chose to fix it. And honestly, that's the whole point of using AI. Sometimes, life or work throws you a curveball, and suddenly, you need to solve a problem that's completely outside your skill set. That can be daunting, but we've all heard the buzzwords. Be flexible, be agile. Everyone expects you to just figure it out. And with AI, you actually can. So, to anyone watching this, maybe rolling their eyes, thinking there's a better way to do this, yeah, I would expect so. But sometimes you don't have access to the better way. Maybe you lack the right software, licensing, or skills. I told ChatGPT my issue, explained the tools I had, and through patience, tenacity, trial, and error, I got there. And that's the essence of AI. Progress. After I removed the brown background from each of the 84 frames, I selected frame 1, but I ran into a small issue. All frames now seem to be just a duplicate of frame 1 in the timeline panel. To fix this, I clicked the 3 lines in the top right corner of the timeline panel and selected Delete Animation. Then, I clicked the 3 lines again and chose Make Frames from Layers. This restructured the animation correctly, restoring each frame to its proper sequence. Let's hit play and take a look at the final result. Great. Now, all we need to do is export it as a GIF. I found that when exporting GIFs, you need to use the Save for Web. Otherwise, it just saves a single still image instead of an animation. So, head to File, then Export, and select Save for Web, Legacy. Save the image, and once it's done, it should look something like this. If everything worked correctly, your GIF should now have a transparent background and loop seamlessly without any unwanted elements. Congratulations, that's done. If you chose to create your own Droplet version, you'll need to duplicate this process for the other GIF so you end up with a matching set. For those who just followed along, don't worry. You can find the finished version of the GIF in the materials provided.